My name is Dave, and today we're going to be going over the installation of the Midwest Industries Combat Rail M-LOK for your AR-15 style rifle. If any part of the installation process doesn't make sense, or you don't feel comfortable performing any part of the process, don't hesitate to seek the assistance of a qualified gunsmith or armorer to assist you. The Combat Rail M-LOK is an excellent upgrade for your AR-15. It offers increased accuracy with a free-floating handguard. All of the Combat Rail M-LOK models feature a top Picatinny rail that is continuous the entire length of the rail. This is the same height as the upper receiver. QD sockets on both sides of the rail are present, and the rail features 7 rows of M-LOK slots that wrap around the rail, giving you virtually 360-degree mounting options for the accessory of your choice. Integrated anti-rotation tabs are also standard and interface with any mil-spec dimension upper receiver. The rail was designed to interface with mil-spec dimension upper receivers or billet upper receivers that follow mil-spec external dimensions. If you have a different style of upper receiver or a billet receiver that does not adhere to those dimensions, the rail may not be compatible or modification may be required. The Combat Rail M-LOK barrel nut is also available in a titanium version for users looking for the ultimate lightweight build. The Combat Rail M-LOK is available in 7 different lengths, ranging from 7 inches all the way to 15 inches. This covers the traditional distances for carbine, mid, and rifle-length gas systems. However, additional offerings are also available based on popular market configurations. For example, a 9.5-inch rail is available and pairs great with a 10.5-inch barrel for pistol or SBR builds. A 10.5-inch rail is available, and this pairs up great with an 11.5-inch barrel for pistol or SBR builds. Additionally, a 14-inch rail is also available. This rail pairs up extremely well with 16-inch barrels. All of the different options on the market virtually guarantee that the ideal rail length for your setup is available. Before we begin the installation process, let's go over the required tools and supplies needed to perform the installation. First, you will need a vise and an upper receiver fixture capable of holding your upper receiver so we can apply the proper amount of torque to the muzzle device and barrel nut. You will also need an armorer's wrench and any other tools required to remove your current rifle's muzzle device, gas block, and barrel nut. Depending on the configuration of your rifle, you may need additional or specialty tools for that removal. The included barrel nut wrench and a foot-pound torque wrench with a 1/2-inch drive capable of tightening to 40 foot-pounds. The included 5/32 and 1/8-inch hex keys, or you can use a bit and driver system as shown here. An inch-pound torque driver capable of tightening to 55 inch-pounds. A degreasing agent such as denatured alcohol, aeroshell grease or an appropriate anti-seize, and some swabs and small patches or rags. We will now put a list of all the required tools and supplies on the screen. Feel free to pause the video if you would like to take notes. Now we're going to go over the parts of the rail so you know how they fit in the installation process and we can prep them for the installation. We can begin by removing the 2 socket head cap screws, and then we can turn the rail over to release the torque plate. It is important not to lose these parts. Do not lose the torque plate or the 2 socket head cap screws. We can now remove the barrel nut and set that aside. Now we are going to prepare and degrease all of the hardware for installation. Degrease the external surface of the barrel nut and the interior surface of the handguard that interfaces with the barrel nut. The first step when working with any firearm is to verify that the firearm is unloaded and our work surface is clear of any ammunition. Make sure there are no magazines or ammunition present in your work surface and remove a magazine and stow it if one is present. We can now lock the bolt back to the rear and we can check the magwell, loading area, and chamber and verify that the firearm is unloaded. We can now proceed. Now we are going to field strip the rifle. We are going to separate the upper receiver from the lower receiver and we are going to remove the bolt carrier group and charging handle. We can then secure the upper receiver in our vise and fixture and we are going to remove the muzzle device, existing rail or handguard, gas block, and barrel nut. Due to the variety of configurations on the market, you may have to contact the manufacturer of your rifle or consult with the owner's manual for proper removal of these components. Now that we have everything removed and prepared for installation, we can go ahead and remove any excess or old grease from the threads of your upper receiver. I just do this again with the denatured alcohol and a small patch. If this is a new build, you can apply a small amount of the grease to the external portion of the barrel extension. Then we can insert the barrel into the upper receiver and make sure that the indexing pin is in alignment with the notch of the upper receiver, and the collar of the barrel extension is all the way flush against the upper receiver. Now we can apply a small amount of the moly grease to the threads on the upper receiver, as well as the front of the collar on the barrel extension. Now we're ready to install the barrel nut. Slide the barrel nut over the barrel so the notches are towards the muzzle, and we can thread the barrel nut onto the upper receiver. Now, using our torque wrench set to 40 foot-pounds, we can tighten the barrel nut. Notice that the proper alignment of the barrel nut wrench on the torque wrench is at a 90-degree angle for proper torque angle. This ensures that you don't over-tighten your barrel nut. If this is a new build, you can also decide if you want to season the threads. Seasoning the threads is a process of tightening to 40 foot-pounds, loosening, tightening to 40 foot-pounds again, and then loosening again, and then applying a final torque of 40 foot-pounds. There is some controversy on the internet and other discussions over whether this process is necessary, but ultimately it's up to you to decide if you want to season the threads or just apply an initial torque of 40 foot-pounds and move on. Now we're ready to install the gas block and gas tube. We can slide the gas block over the barrel and align the tube into the opening on the upper receiver and slide the gas block into position so it is aligned with the gas port. You can now secure the gas block to the barrel. Now we're ready to put the rail onto the upper receiver. Carefully align the rail over the barrel nut, and then we can make sure that the anti-rotation tabs are in alignment with the upper receiver, and it slides back flush as shown. Verify the rail is in alignment with the upper receiver, and you can make any adjustments as necessary. Now we're ready to install the torque plate. Install the torque plate as shown, so the tab of the torque plate interfaces with the groove of the barrel nut that is visible by looking from the bottom of the rail. If it is installed properly, the torque plate will be flush with the bottom of the mounting surface, and you can see that the holes allow the bolts to pass through. Additionally, none of the torque plate is showing in the forward portion. If you installed the torque plate backwards, you can see that some of the torque plate is visible here. This is incorrect. Install the torque plate as shown. Install the socket head cap screws into the rail. Now, using the 5/32 hex key or driver system, you can snug down both of the screws. I'm just going to snug down both screws, and I'm not going to apply my final torque yet. I'm going to verify that the rail is still in alignment with the upper receiver, and then I can continue to tighten the two screws evenly. Once both screws are snug, I'm going to verify alignment, and now I can apply my final torque of 55 inch-pounds with the inch-pound torque driver. Repeat for both screws. I'm just going to do a final confirmation, making sure that the rail is in alignment with the upper receiver, which it is, and it looks great. Now you can reinstall your muzzle device. Now we can reassemble our upper receiver group and rifle to perform our function checks. Install the charging handle and bolt carrier group into the upper receiver and attach the upper receiver to the lower receiver. You can now perform your function checks to make sure that the installation was complete. We want to verify that there's no movement or play, verify that the rail is in alignment with the upper receiver, and the rifle is functioning as it should. Installation of the Combat Rail M-LOK is now complete. Again, if any part of the installation process doesn't make sense to you, or you don't feel comfortable performing any part of the process, don't hesitate to seek the assistance of a qualified gunsmith or armorer to assist you. Additionally, you can also contact the technical support team online or via telephone with any other questions you may have. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.